Greetings from parts unknown. My name is Sonny Sofrito, and today I'm with
I'm the greatest general manager in Yep, I Like Wrestling history.
self-proclaimed, and I am also today with
The Glamazon of Yep, I Like Wrestling, Tara Marie.
what's up, Glamazon?
Welcome back, Tara.
Thank God, finally 2 in a row.
Yes.
You know, I'm doing my best here. I keep getting lost in parts unknown, and I don't know what's going on there.
As you probably know already, Tara travels.
A lot.
A lot.
She's like Ebola. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Only not as deadly.
Not as dead. Well, wait till she
then
picks
again,
up that knife.
Yeah,
Wait again.
Yeah, then again, yeah, exactly. So, we're back with another bonus episode 16, and we're actually going to break down Smackdown and the Andre the Giant documentary. But before we get to that, let me just say thank you to everyone for following us. We're hoping you're enjoying what we're doing. You know what? Can I get a Hennessy? Yeah.
We're going to be here for a while.
With just a little bit of ice.
Oh, I don't have my teacup
We're just
anymore,
we're
sorry.
just ordering some drinks because we want to get
lit.
We want to make the production value as great as possible for the listeners and viewers.
If we're slurring by the end of this, just bear with.
So yeah, Smackdown was alright.
I love SmackDown so much. Let me tell you, Shane.
love you guys.
We're gonna get this Smackdown very quickly.
You sound like Nakamura. My what?
Hey, you know what?
That's racist.
I know.
Need a fish.
Any Asians that are watching, I love you guys. I literally have Hello Kitty tattooed on me. I love you guys.
I love Asians
Is that
too.
is
That's my card. That's like my hood pass
no
for
no
Asians.
but that's like saying I have black friends.
It's true. It's true.
I love chow mein and lo mein. It's my
do.
favorite. You do?
All right,
I love a
That's
little
good
General
spring roll?
Toe. General
Alright,
So's.
none of this racist shit is making it into the fucking episode.
What?
Do you like spring rolls?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
You like a good
I
egg
love
roll?
I love white men. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's spring roll. Sorry.
Oh.
Thought you meant size.
How is that?
Wow.
How are white men spring rolls?
Again, these are the thoughts and concerns of
Gracias.
Teddy.
You
Thank
can't
so
disclaim
much.
when you're editing this out. You gotta disclaim silence.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go. Let it fly.
Well, we'll
Speaking
see.
of white men with little dicks, Shane McMahon, right out the box, gave
No,
us a new
we
general
love
manager.
Shane.
Do
Stop,
we?
Stop.
Do
I
we?
love Shane McMahon.
No, we don't.
So much.
I don't.
do.
I
He's
don't.
really nice
Jesus
to my mom.
Christ.
Oh yeah, I forgot you know him.
He's
Oh my
down.
God.
Shane McMahon's so cool.
I
Kinda
shook his
like-
hand one time. He was a really cool person.
It was a little hand. It was a tiny hand, like that. It
no,
was tiny.
stop, man.
No, sorry.
Doesn't he have big feet? No, he doesn't have Carmella feet.
It's the Jordans. Oh, Carmella. America's favorite. No, I can't. I can't say it because I'm afraid of Cass. So.
They're not together anymore. It's
yeah.
fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's not. She's her
No.
and Cass broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're learning all the things today.
My favorite Staten Island dump. That's what I was gonna say.
That's
Yeah.
not from Staten Island.
She's a lying whore. She's not even from Staten Island.
She's from Boston. Or from
wow.
Massachusetts.
No, I
What?
don't like her, and I really liked her before.
Yeah. She's
I
from
never
Massachusetts.
liked her. I knew I never trusted her.
But
I gotta give props to Kaz because Kaz went to NYU just like me.
Oh, okay.
But he's a Trump supporter. Anyway, speaking of Shane
shit.
McMahon.
Is he?
Yep.
Damn. You know what? That's fuck that.
Guys,
Nope.
can I talk about this because this is near and dear to my heart? Being the best general manager of Yep, we got a new GM on SmackDown.
That's right.
The lovely Paige.
This is her house, literally.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I love Paige. I dressed up as her for Halloween. It's great. She's
Gentlemen,
my favorite.
Go to Twitter. Trust me, you'll thank me. I licked the screen. That's all I'm gonna say.
She's at Hello Glamazon.
Yes.
Or don't, whatever makes
Here's
you
a
happy.
90s reference for you. When you look at that picture, swing. That's all I'm going to say. Shout out to Wayne's World. Do you remember
Shout
the
out
good
to
old
our
days?
age.
You know,
All right,
good
listen.
old days.
Paige is hot. I'm not gonna say she's not hot. I think she's very hot. But what the fuck is up with her lips?
They're just overdrawing them too much.
No. Seriously, you remember the 1989 Batman with Jack Nicholson was the Joker?
Fun fact, I was born in 1989.
Yo, okay, so check this shit out. When she says, "Hey there, Paige here," see, I can do voices too. When she does that shit,
that British?
I don't
Ish.
know.
What
It's
was
Brit-
that?
Ish.
No,
It was drunk.
It's her British because the lips is fucking up her voice. But yo, when she talks and she says, "Hey there, Paige here. I'm picturing Jack Nicholson saying, "Hey there, Joker here." And it's like the same expression and everything, yo. Like, yo, dude.
She's got some soup coolers on her. I guess we should ask Alberto Del Rio what that mouth do. Learn that in Newark, people. I learned that in Newark.
I'm very proud of you.
I
All
did.
the slang
I
you've been
listened.
learning lately.
Yeah.
You know what?
What that mouth
You know
do.
what?
What that mouth do.
Paige is a future ex.
What number? What number?
Nah, ex side chick.
Ooh, not even a number.
Wow, so spicy.
She's a future ex side chick.
What?
I saw the videos. I'm sorry. I can't marry her.
Dear.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the
it's
up, down, down video?
Yeah, up, down for real.
Shout out to Xavier Woods. Oh dear.
This podcast took a left.
It did. Shout out to
But
hashtag
I'm
me
very
too.
proud
Hey,
of a
you know
woman
what? I'm
for being
surprised.
the GM.
I'm surprised I didn't get a fucking disclaimer from you guys.
Yes.
We support this. That's why.
do.
You
Oh,
just
okay.
disclaim us because you don't support our nonsense.
So we've only had 2 female GMs, Stephanie and the lovely AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. Which, are we allowed to say her name?
I thought I don't.
not?
Does
Are
Vince,
we?
does Vince
Well,
act like she doesn't exist?
I would prefer you guys not say her name because she reminds me too much of a past ex-wife.
Oh
You have a lot of those, and we
No. But I'm dead serious about that one.
Oh,
yeah,
the actual past ex-wife.
yeah.
AJ.
No, I do love AJ Lee though.
Yeah.
She's my favorite.
Like an attractive 12-year-old boy, AJ Lee.
With a psychotic tendency.
It happens.
I love it. I support it.
I do.
But
Crazy pussy is the best pussy ever.
It just keeps
yeah,
helping.
yeah.
I was gonna go there.
That's why I'm in the trouble I'm in now.
You know,
Crazy. Yeah, well, yeah.
Puerto
we've,
Ricans, what? Okay. So, I just want to say it's a part of the women's evolution. You know, we have women doing big things.
So you think she's going to do a good job as general manager?
Yeah, I feel like the writers are gonna do a great job for her.
I think she's going. You know what? Honestly, I don't think she even needs the writers to do a great job because Paige knows her shit. She grew up in the business.
They're not gonna actually let her like pick matches.
No, but the thing
though.
is that when she's on the mic, sometimes you may have to improv or what have you.
Yeah.
She's gonna be amazing at that.
She's so good. She's
Paige
so
is an
snarky.
amazing talent. Bullshit aside, it's like she's someone that came in the business, knows the ropes, and as young as she is, she's a veteran in it. So I'm not even worried about her. She's gonna do just fine.
I think she's gonna do amazing. Anybody with a British accent in my book is A-okay.
Thank you, darling. I've always tried.
I don't know.
Does she have a movie coming out too? She's a movie star now.
She is.
Oh.
Or she influenced the movie, rather, I would say.
It's based on her family
Yeah.
because they're like a big wrestling family in the UK.
Her crazy ass mom.
Yeah, who was pregnant with her when she was
That
still
is
wrestling.
true.
And
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
why Paige is the way she is.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
That trailer with The Rock was delish, by the way. It was.
yeah, it was pretty dope. I was loving that.
It was mesmerizing because, you got that old nostalgia of who The Rock is. And I couldn't stop watching.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny is that I don't know if you ever heard the story when they were filming. They would film some of the live in ring stuff at say like the end of Raw, the beginning of Raw, or the end of, or well SmackDown, whatever it was, and they were doing it I think in Chicago, and the crowd was chanting CM Punk so much
Surprise, surprise.
that The Rock took out his phone and called CM Punk. He didn't pick up, but
No way.
yeah, he didn't pick up, but he left a voicemail. And the next day, CM Punk actually wrote out a tweet saying, "Hey, thank you everybody for like the love" or something like that. But it was crazy because like he just said, "Fuck it, you know what? You guys really want CM Punk? Let me call him right now." And he didn't pick up. It was so crazy.
Salty that he didn't pick up.
Yeah, of course.
I can't believe he didn't pick up.
Reminds me of carpool karaoke. For all you people, are you a fan of carpool karaoke?
With James Corden.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had J-Lo, and he said, "Can I go through your phone?" And there were celebrities in her phone, and he's like, "Can we call Leo DiCaprio?" And they did. Yeah, they texted him. So yeah, celebrities it's so much fun. So much fun being a celebrity. I hope you guys can feel what I feel someday. I really do. I hope you all can live that long.
Jesus Christ.
But moving on,
Speaking of pseudo celebrities,
the Usos.
and the New Day,
Shout out to the penitentiary.
and shout out to Up Down Down. But we
Always.
I'd rather the penitentiary than Up Down Down.
Can't we
I've
do
at
both?
least seen what Up Down Down is. I'm like, man, pass. But the penitentiary though.
But we already talked about Paige. But yo,
Shout out to Alberto Del Rio.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help go back to that one. But so they went on to challenge. Yo, okay, so this is where the continuity is an issue. It's like, yo, the champions were the Usos. Why are they challenging for a shot at the Bludgeon Brothers, who are the new champions at the Greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia? I don't get that shit. That shit just doesn't make any sense to me.
Some years ago, JR said, would we please... No, how did he say it? Can we please get a decent tag team? I'm afraid those days have returned. There is no tag division on SmackDown. It's just, besides the Usos and the New Day, no one's stepping up.
No.
It is barren.
Well, I mean, I like the Bludgeon Brothers in ring, but I don't like. I'm not that crazy about their character.
It's a throwback to the 80s.
Yeah, it is.
We've got quite a few tags on Raw, but there's no tag division on SmackDown. It is a barren wasteland. It's like Nikki Bella's womb. It's just barren. There's nothing on the horizon.
Oh my God.
Nothing. She's a cookie jar. She's an empty cookie jar. She's an empty cookie jar.
Does that mean that John Cena puts his arm in all the time?
All the way in because it's hollow. You can put it up to your elbow.
It was great knowing you guys. I gotta go. Bye.
No, she was with Dolph Ziggler. She was with. She's had a list. Not as bad as Maria Kanellis, but yes.
I feel like if I was
Maria Kanellis, damn son.
Please leave her alone.
Maria had CM Punk.
All right, she's one of my other future side chicks.
Oh, she's a mistress. She has mistress written all over.
There's a list with the side chicks that I'm just not prepared for.
I think Lita's the top of any side chick list. Like, yeah.
Wow.
She is. Yeah. Wow. Shout out to Matt Hardy and Edge, by the way, 2005.
Who hugged at the Hall of Fame.
Was that not the most awkward hug ever since my prom night? I've never seen a hug more awkward.
Yo, but like, I think everybody, because like in the Hip I Like Wrestling group, everybody just posted, yo, they hug. And it's like, people just like, yo, you know, like, mad time has passed since that shit happened, right?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter.
But the thing is that I was watching, I'm just like in slow motion, like, are they actually hugging for real? And then I was breaking this shit down like it was the Kennedy film. I was like,
back and to the left, back and to the left.
Me, I hold on to grudges from like second grade.
You and me both.
Yeah,
yes. Shout out to the Pagans. Okay. Okay, so here's my thing. For you children who are too young to know what we're talking about, back in the day, Lita and Matt were engaged, and Matt got hurt, and Lita slept with his best friend Edge. That happened in real life. So Vince said, let's make some money on it, and he put it on the show in real life.
No, but wait. It gets better. They started it off on Bite This. Do you remember Bite This?
Oh, he called in and he put her on blast, yes.
The pre-cyber show.
It was like real life, too.
Yeah.
I think that's what the worst part was.
And they planned that shit out, but she still was like, yo, this shit is fucking real.
And then it got better because they fired Matt. So yes, get this right. The one who was cheated on got fired. Yes, and then Edge shot up, no pun intended, to the top of the charts, and Lita was then made his on-screen slut bag, and then they did what? A live fucking sex show.
Okay, I was really young for that, and I was just watching what's happening.
It was a swamp. So the fact that they hug, and Sonny, I don't care if you cheat on me with someone, and I see you 20 years later.
Why the fuck am I cheating on you?
No, here's what happened.
No, not you, but like the, you know.
As they say in Newark, it's on site.
Oh.
Wow, you are learning so many things.
You fucked my girl, I'm whooping your ass. I don't care if we're both married, we have kids. I still owe you these hands. Shout out to Braun Strowman. Yeah. So the fact that they embraced, it was like almost as awkward as when Vince embraced Eric Bischoff on Raw.
Oh, that was bad.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Very
or
true.
when I had to hug my prom date. That was pretty fucking awkward as well. But yeah.
What was her name?
Whore. Yes. I was the only one who didn't get a blowjob that night.
Her name was Vacant.
Yes. Beard. That was her name, Beard. Anywho.
The vacant beard.
Speaking of beards, Natalya took on Naomi, and yeah, we've seen this match 100 times.
Yeah, you let Natalya go home. Take care of your man. What is he, a
or your cats.
Now? Yeah, take care of the cats.
All right,
Two paws.
I'm over Natalya.
So real quick, there was a one part in the match where there was a roll up, and Naomi was ass up.
Oh, Sonny, you're a card.
I'm not mad at it.
She got all that wagon she dragging.
She got a lot of junk in the trunk.
And if you watch that match carefully, Natalya's crotch rips. Her crotch, the pants, the rips.
Again, she's always ripping.
So I need to go back and watch it again.
Like, she peed in her outfit before. She's like ripped it. There's something. She's an old lady. She's gonna break her hip. Go home.
I've fallen, and I'm Canadian. Yes. So, speaking of things that go down, Carmella finally cashed in her Money in the Bank that briefcase got moths and bed bugs. She had that shit so long.
Yo, that shit had fucking rust on the hinges.
But it's like it was
No,
such an awkward
cobwebs.
exchange. Like cash it in.
No,
was
but
so
this shit,
weird.
Yo, when the ref kept on saying, "You want me to cash
You
this
sure?
in?
You sure?
This one?
This?
You
This
sure?
one? This one?
Because she's tried
This
to
one?
cash it 100 times.
Yo, but that shit had me dying.
Today, you want me to cash it in today?
Like honestly, I wasn't sure whether or not she was actually gonna win because he was taking so long.
guys, this is the most we've ever talked about SmackDown.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's the best SmackDown in years.
Well, real quick, let's give a shout out to Billy Kay and Peyton Royce for coming out.
Oh,
The
no.
Iconics, whoa, you're not gonna come for them. You're not gonna come for them because
Yeah,
one day
yeah,
my
yeah.
body will move fluidly like these bitches, and my body will make these moves, and I have my hands in the air. You guys can't see me.
Darling,
but it's
Julio
real.
looks very happy. I think you're doing just fine. Don't worry.
You right, but like they're little tiny mosquito bites and stuff. They came out and they were ready.
Itty bitty titty
But-
committee.
But for like the itty bitty titty committee, they made some like real like carnage happen.
They came
beat.
out and made an impact because the way
Poor
they beat
Charlie.
the shit out of Charlotte was like fucking vicious. Like
Didn't like it.
The last time I saw her really beat down like that was when her dad was beating down Ricky Steamboat.
Oh.
Shout out to the Steamboats. That was a good match.
Yeah, I'm talking about when it was in NWA.
Oh, stiff
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Stiff shots.
Yeah, I like it because I like when a pretty girl can get down like that. Like, you know me, like I'm rooting for Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Ugh, I know.
Speaking of swallowing.
I want her to be, I want her to get better at her craft, but like Peyton Royce and Billy Kay can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Why does everyone have to come for Charlotte? The Riot Squad, shout out to
Because
Ruby
you
Riot.
come for the queen.
But it's enough. Are there no other women we want to beat down?
You got to go for the queen. You
I
don't
can think
go
of
for
3
the-
women off the top of my head I'd
you
like to
don't go
punch
for
in the face.
jesters. You go for the queen.
Yeah, but in wrestling,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Lost it there.
I got at least one I would like
Yeah.
to punch in the face, but like whatever.
But
At least one.
Or 3.
Yeah.
My bad.
I
It's
thought
just,
with you that number would be up to like 15.
I can't beat on people because I'm so large. I look like a bully. That's why the Iconics can get away with it because they're 2 little skinny chicks beating on big old Charlotte, so it's fine.
Big old Charlotte. She's not that
She's
big.
tall.
She's not Naya.
Yeah. Wow. We
I
are
love
not
Nia.
fat shaming right now.
No, I know.
No, but
I love
she's
Nia.
but Naya's
She's
broad.
tall. No, Charlotte's taller than I am.
She's
When
tall.
I'm at, yeah,
She's got some
tall,
legs. She's
and
got
I'm
legs.
pretty up there.
Yeah.
So for the little ones to be the bullies, the little chihuahuas to finally be the bullies, I
Oh.
can finally say like, look, it's not us. It's not the big chicks. It's the little ones. And they just set up that nice little
That
layup
was
for
hard to
Charlotte.
watch.
I mean, for Carmella.
It was hard to watch.
It was funny to watch Carmella
Although
cash in.
Carmella's wrestling has always been hard to watch, but now she's a women's
Is
champion.
it because of her feet?
Yeah, it's because of her face.
No,
But I
leave her
can't tell the
feet.
difference between her feet and her face. That's
Jesus
the
Christ.
strange part.
You know, I can't
Interesting.
even argue with you. I got at least 7
Yeah.
guy friends who tell me they have no interest in Carmella because of her feet.
I'm one of her.
Yeah.
Shout out to James Ellsworth. I do miss him though.
He was out in New Orleans. Lots of people had pictures with him.
Oh yeah, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. He was out there.
I didn't expect him not to be out there. You crazy? Anybody that was a wrestler that was not on that card was definitely out there trying to get their money up or at least their profile up. So yeah.
But
he was
James
definitely gonna
Ellsworth
be-
looks like all the creepy guys who watch wrestling anyway, so I probably would have just walked right by him.
hashtag to down south. So,
But enough about the Yep I Like Wrestling page. Let's move
Hey, Jesus.
There's some creeps in there, and they're always in my DMs. Speaking of creepy guys, Randy Orton defeated Bobby Roode.
And Rusev. Happy Rusev.
Oh,
Happy Rusev Day,
guys.
Happy Rusev
Seems
Day
like
to
only
you.
yesterday was Rusev Day.
Yeah,
But here we are
And the
again.
day before.
Yes.
It's weird.
Is it Groundhog's Day?
I don't know
And
how
I
that
think
works.
tomorrow it is too.
That's
Perhaps.
crazy. I don't know how that works.
Speaking of Rusev, real
We're
quick.
gonna call it It's Papi Day because that's what Rusev is looking like.
He's looking good.
Good,
And this is the point where I'll be checking out of the podcast
delicious, but
for the next 30 seconds
digress.
while they.
we get 30 seconds. Rusev is looking like a snack.
He is.
Like a
Have you ever seen a
entree.
couple that was a mismatch? There was one that was way hotter than the other one. You ever looked at that couple? You're like, how did she get him or how did he get her? Lana used to be that when she was just the interpreter
Yup.
with the. We were like, damn, how did
Rusev
Rusev
crush.
get But now, it's
Now?
kind of even now.
Rusev is a papi.
It's a little even now.
For it. I think we went over 30 seconds.
Lana, you better hurry up and have a baby and trap him. That's all I'm going to say.
Make it happen.
God.
Shout out to Brie Bella. But go ahead, Sonny. You were saying? Sorry.
Yes,
Speaking of Brie
yes.
Bella, let's move on to the AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan match.
Worst segue in history, much like WrestleMania. Yeah. Daniel Bryan. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not for it. I'm not here for it. I'm not doing it with you, Tony. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm not. I can't do it.
Okay.
No.
I know that I've heard of a story where The Miz told Daniel Bryan, hey, pick one word and the fans will follow you. The Miz's is awesome. It works for him. Daniel Bryan picked yes. And it's very catchy. And whether you hate Daniel or you don't, you're going to chant the yes chant. I know
You got
do your work.
everybody chanting the yes chant. You got people outside of wrestling chanting the yes chant.
Basketball games, football games. They have no
Baseball
idea who
games.
Daniel Bryan is.
I shout the yes at home a lot in
you
bed.
shout it in
I do.
Newark?
Yes, in bed.
Okay.
When he finally finishes, I say yes, 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 because then he can go back home to his wife. But anyhow, I'm over it.
I don't even know what to say to that one.
I'm over Daniel Bryan. I don't think he has.
Daniel Bryan is over.
So here's my breakdown of Daniel Bryan, and this is something that I was seeing it at WrestleMania and looking at it again in his match on Smackdown, and he has altered his moveset very, very surgically. And I say that because I remember a lot of his matches where he would do stuff, not that he would do it recklessly, but he would just, if he would fall on his head, whatever, so be it. But he's being very conscious about some of the moves that he does, where he would fall on his, say, shoulder, head area, where he's like, when he does that thing where he runs into the corner and does the kick.
Yeah.
So if you notice, he's been grabbing onto the rope once he does the kick, and he's not falling all the way to the mat anymore. He's holding himself up, and he's still kind of like
he's being very cautious.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many things, but it's like he's still putting on a good match. I like the match that he had with AJ Styles. I thought it was pretty decent.
I think he's playing with fire.
But I'm looking forward to a possible 3-way dance with them and Nakamura going forward, because I think that's going to be really good.
I think Nakamura is better than both of them. I love strong style.
I'm with the Glamazon on this one.
Yeah, I think he could wipe the floor with both of these. Let's not say white people.
Jesus Christ!
These are the thoughts of Tara. Blah blah blah. I'll be honest. I don't listen to Sonny when he disclaims, so I don't know the words.
I don't know the words of the
Insert
words.
disclaimer here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel.
Yo,
You know why?
Tara, you got a disclaimer from Teddy. Yo, you know how fucked up that shit is?
But because Nakamura doesn't care about his own life. In the beginning of his entrance when he gets really close to the floor really fast.
Yeah, what's that about?
I'm always like, he's gonna hit his face, and he doesn't. That's how you know he doesn't care about his life or his well-being. So he definitely doesn't care about them too, and that's what gives you a good show. Like, I want you to not care about your life. Go ahead, jump off of the
Teddy, get ready for another one.
Shout out to Jeff Hardy.
Get ready for another disclaimer, Teddy.
Yes,
I feel it coming.
I'm behaving. I'm holding it all.
No.
I'm behaving.
No. Go ahead. Go
I
ham.
just feel like, you gotta root for the guy who doesn't care about his life. And, because we're gonna go there. Nakamura is overtly sexual. And I feel
Really?
You don't think he's with all the movements, him and Finn Balor.
Think about how he says, "It's a fast."
Yeah.
Literally, when I look at Nakamura, every hole in my body closes. Like, he
Okay,
could not be
not
any
that
less.
He's not sexy.
No, he's not.
But he's sexual, like a creep. Like, he's creepy.
Like, in other words,
Think about it. He's very fluid in his moments.
He's the guy that you would see at a kid's playground, be like, "Yo, dude, what are you doing here?"
Exactly.
Oh, JJ.
Yes.
Okay.
Creepy sexual. Not like, ooh, that's sexy. No. Like, I'm going to call the cops.
Shout out to Enzo. Okay, I'll pay attention more often now.
Hashtag no means no.
Watch Nakamura's moves and the fluidity of his moves and sometimes even how he wrestles. He'll caress them.
Okay.
It gets a little freaky dicky for Nakamura.
I have to pay attention more. Anything with red leather, I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to. So I'll pay more attention to.
That's part of the creepiness.
Yeah, I know. I just always think of a yeast infection when I see red leather.
All the leather.
So-
And
Red
those
leather,
are the
yellow
words
leather.
of Teddy.
Oh my God! I didn't even do anything that time. Shout out to daytime television. You ever notice daytime television is nothing but
Can we not talk about yeast infections? Is
yeast
that not
infections
okay?
and period
Are you
talk.
not down with Monistat?
There
I
are
don't
only 3
understand.
commercials on
Does that
daytime
make you
TV.
nervous?
It's like Monistat, Massagill, and prescription pills. Like those are all the commercials you see on daytime television.
Antibiotics.
You know,
That's-
the side effects are worse.
And me growing up in a room and me growing up in a house all filled with women. Yeah, I know about all those products, and I've had to go buy all of those products. at
Oh,
one point and whatnot.
no.
Do not tell the world that your family has yeast infections. That's what you don't do.
No, he probably had to go buy tampons as a child.
tampons
No,
and pads.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
not
The
Monistat.
pads.
We
Yeah.
don't talk about that.
No,
That's a thing.
not the yeast infection shit. I'm talking about me having to go to the feminine
I did too.
product
Vagisil.
aisle,
Summer's Eve.
and I'm like, what's this? So I'm unfortunately well schooled.
I do hate panty
Once again,
liners.
the longest we've ever talked about a SmackDown. I'm
And
very
it
proud.
has to do with tampons.
It does. It does.
It's usually a bloody mess.
Oh,
Isn't that what you
I
guys
see what you did there. I see what you did there. I like what
I
she
watched
did
the Spice
there.
Girls movie. That's where I learned it.
Yeah,
I
you
like
know
what
what?
you did
You know
there.
what? You get a high five from me.
Good job. Good job. I like that.
All right, so moving along, because we're done with SmackDown.
We're done.
We're done with SmackDown. Oh, you know what? We're done with SmackDown, but I do have one note about someone from SmackDown.
Oh.
Is it?
So it was released today that Rusev was supposed to take on The Undertaker at the greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Bury me softly, brother.
Then, like a couple of hours later, after it was announced, he wrote, "Oh yeah, bury me softly,"
brother.
on Twitter. Then I get an alert like 2 hours later. Rusev has been replaced by Chris Jericho in the casket match against Undertaker. I was like, wow. Like, that shit was just a blatant, like, yeah, no.
They
dude.
went from literally burying him to like burying him. Like,
like,
goodbye.
like, no,
Goodbye,
that shit
you don't
wasn't
even
bury him.
exist.
That was finish him.
Yeah.
Be careful what you put on social media. It'll come back to bite you on the ass.
I don't know. Part of me is feeling like it's a work, but we'll
If
see.
you get replaced by a Canadian,
Ooh,
Like-
shout
Well-
out to Canada, eh?
But it was a Bulgarian being replaced by a Canadian. So is that better?
A
or
Bulgarian
worse?
who lives in Tennessee. So it's like, I don't know what that's
that's
about.
worse. That's
Nah.
worse. That's worse. Because you got to rep Tennessee now. It's so sad.
Whose wife is Venezuelan and pretends she's Russian. It's a whole identity thing. I'm not doing this with you, Sonny. I don't like to talk about this
Rusev
anymore.
crush.
And then we're going to Saudi
Machka.
Arabia. It's too many ethnicities. It's too much going on.
Yeah, it's like this whole melting pot that I don't want to deal with.
And the Undertaker cannot be on a flight
I
that
much prefer
long.
the
He
racism
can.
here between the Puerto Ricans and the black guys.
I like this.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
You're
I
going to
don't-
put the Undertaker on a plane for 18 hours? He's not going to make it.
Well,
He's
he'll
gonna
be
break
in,
a hip.
Don't worry about it. He'll be in a casket. It's okay.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did. That's called journalism,
Where's
people.
Michelle McCool gonna be?
She's gonna be in the casket celebrating right above it.
Oh, shout out to Michelle McCool.
She'll be filling out the paperwork.
That insurance
Yeah.
money gonna be lovely. Go ahead, girl. She's smart.
Shout out to Sarah.
WWE
Sarah, who? That
Shout out
tattoo
to
has
Sarah.
been removed.
WWE insurance policy.
I feel like the children don't even know who Sarah is.
No.
That's because that shit was fucking erased from his neck.
Yo.
Tuck yourselves into bed. Uncle Ted is going to tell you a story. Back in the day, The Undertaker was married to a lovely blonde, thin woman named Sarah.
looks like
Then he
Michelle.
cheated on her with a lovely blonde, thin woman named Michelle, who looked just like Sarah.
And then he had to
But
get
10 years
Sarah.
prior.
And then he had to get the Sarah tattoo on his neck
Removed.
removed. No, not removed. Erased. Because
Erased.
he had to put like something else on top of it.
The only thing worse than being cheated on is being cheated on with someone who looks exactly like you.
But younger.
Bitch, you could have just fucked that mirror. Really? You had to do. Shout out to Michelle and Sarah. I love you both. And take you old leather bag, you.
savage, you. I
You
love
savage.
you.
I like it.
I'm still waiting for American Badass. Oh, can it happen in Saudi Arabia?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
There's
There's an inappropriate
bikers.
joke in there somewhere. I just can't think of it.
Just can't do it. Why is Undertaker still fighting? Why? He doesn't have to.
He's not that old, which is the scariest part.
Well-
He's only like 53, but he looks so much older.
He looks 93.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of dead wrestlers, let's move on to Andre the Giant.
Shout
Really?
out.
That's how you want to give him his homage? Like,
Shout out to Zack Ryder.
Oh,
Really?
that's what we would talk about, right?
you know what? I swear to God, if y'all talk about Zack Ryder one more time, listen.
You are quick with that knife.
You hear this
Totally.
knife?
This is
Yo.
not her first rodeo.
Okay,
She's quick with that
Before
knife.
you had a butter knife, now you got a switchblade. What the fuck is wrong with you?
She is.
I feel like I can turn the butter knife into.
She's deliciously Puerto Rican tonight,
yeah,
ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
like really good with a butter knife.
Yeah,
Like,
he's from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you ever run out of lube, butter works in a pinch. Just so you know. Just putting that out there.
Can I get a disclaimer?
What? No, this is health. This is health.
Butter? I'm out.
I'm sorry. I was actually just taking down a note. What?
Oh. no, that was hesitation. He's been here.
I am telling your wife. I'm telling her.
I'm just letting you all know out there, by the way.
Hey, baby.
If you see him grabbing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
parquet, girl, run. You run.
Hey, baby.
I can't believe it's not butter. That's all I have to say.
I can't believe it is butter.
I can't believe you're using it.
I am kidding. These are jokes. I do not use butter. Condoms. I do not use condoms either. No. If you ever run out of condoms, you know what is a great replacement? So, Andre the Giant's documentary. I'm sorry, I wouldn't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Listening,
I don't
like
know.
he's gonna say a balloon.
I wouldn't know. I'm the wrong one to
gonna say
ask that
balloon.
question. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus
Abstinence
Christ.
was the answer.
That's the good- yeah.
Abstinence.
Yeah.
There's only one birth control I use, prayer. That's the only thing I use. So Andre the
Why
Giant
do
had a
you need
documentary.
Birth control. This math is so
You
off.
don't know what I do. You don't know what I do.
Naomi, run. Naomi, run.
You don't know what fallopian tubes he's working.
You don't know what I got over here.
I'm very confused as to why he would need birth control.
My house is under power lines. I don't know what goes on in Newark. Anyway,
That makes a lot of sense.
it does. Everything is there. So much semen inside of me. No, I'm not doing this with you,
Oh
Sonny.
my
Speaking
I'm
of
not.
semen, Andre the Giant. No.
Worst segue ever, but let's get to it. I don't even know where that segue could have gone, but it's 4:00 in the morning, and we've got to keep this show going. The show must go on.
Andre the Giant's farts, everyone.
Oh,
Good
God.
night.
So, Andre the Giant had a documentary
on HBO.
on HBO. How was it, Sonny?
It was actually really good. I only had 2 major issues with it.
I thought he was going to say I only had 2 drinks.
The 2 issues I had with it was I would have liked to see more about him and his daughter, because they had his daughter on there, who me and my lady actually met at Comic-Con 2 years ago.
Ooh, Comic-Con.
Yeah, they had a whole thing, a comic book that was put out by Lion Force Comics, and she had her own panel, and we met her, and she was pretty cool. And I actually got to ask her a couple of questions, which, it was interesting to see her talk about it, and I think they didn't showcase her enough in it, and her relationship. It was very brief. That, and also the background music to some of the fucking segments was just really distracting and really annoying, because it was like, all right, why are you playing this real intense shit when you're talking about his fucking childhood? But aside from that, it was pretty good. Shout out to David Shoemaker. My dude was a wrestling historian on there. He used to come out to a lot of the events when he was still in New York. So, he did a great job as one of the wrestling historians. But it was pretty good. It was really interesting on his life, and kind of sad, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's, a man of that size.
You always need that part where it like grips your soul.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Ric Flair one did that to me too,
Oh,
where
yes.
I was hysterical. But mostly, I think it's because I'm emotionally invested in Charlotte, and I feel like if I was more invested in Andre the Giant's daughter, or if I had met her at Comic-Con while we were there, it would have been different.
Yeah, I mean the crazy thing was that they followed his story from when obviously when he was a kid, and he didn't start dealing with the giantism until he was about 15. So he was normal up until the age of 15. That's when that started.
I feel like
to kick
that's
in.
still a real vulnerable age.
Oh, of course, without question. That's a very vulnerable
Especially for
age.
men. You guys are always vulnerable.
Yeah, no, without question. But it was just
The Big Show has the exact same disease that Andre the Giant has, except he's had 2 surgeries to
Slow it down.
slow it down.
Yeah.
Andre, back in those days, there were no
They didn't know
surgeries to
better.
do it.
Yeah.
well, no, there was a surgery that could have helped him
Oh, really?
arrest the condition, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to do it.
Oh, really? Oh.
Like that's the thing that's kind of crazy. Is like there were certain things he could have done to prevent it. Because I mean, the dude never went to the hospital, never went to see a doctor really until like he broke his ankle, and that was something that they showed footage of him on these little crutches with a 10-foot cast. You know what the fuck it is to have a 10-foot cast? Like, dude, I've had enough injuries in my life from playing basketball and everything that I know what it is to have a cast. Cast for me is like a pound. You know,
Yeah,
that
but
shit was
10
10 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeez.
and it's like to see, and thing is that he was walking on a fracture that you can't normally walk on. So it's just, there was just multiple aspects to his life that they touched on, you know, from, you know, it was funny because I was watching it with my lady and Allison says to me, they kept on changing his name every time when he was in wrestling. So it was like Jean Ferret, right? And then it was Giant Rusimov or some shit like that. But the thing was that Allison says to me, did he know where he was by the way they called him by his name?
Yeah.
Because he was, every place he went, it was a different name. So
Well, you have to remember, this was not WWE. He wrestled in a territory. So,
Exactly.
which means everywhere in the United States was ran by a different organization. So, yeah, your name could change from state to state, region to region.
exactly.
Yes.
There's nothing
But
that you can do about it.
But the thing was that because he became such an attraction, that he was the first one that really blew up on a national level because of the fact that they were like, yo, just call him Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
And then his relationship working with Vince McMahon Sr.,
Senior.
he started getting basically kind of like loaned out to different territories. So then he was like really the first national star that really blew up.
Yeah.
Because then it was like, all right, Andre the Giant's going to this town, to that town, to this town. And, you know, he never lost. You know, he would sell for people if he wanted to. But he was always walking out with his hand raised. You know?
See, people, like, there are going to be a lot of people who are too young to remember him. They only know Andre the Giant from the occasional WWE video package. Will be a flash
Or the Battle Royale.
of him. Yeah, but to them, the Big Show is the biggest. This man, Andre the Giant, was bigger than the Big Show and
bigger.
heavier than the Big. So kids will never know what it was. I can remember.
And I think he was more fluid than the Big Show, too.
He was much different than the Big Show. Yes, the Big Show is big, but
They're
Andre was much different. He was an attraction for that reason.
Andre's more raunchy. Big Show's more PG.
Yeah, because he came
P.S.
up in WCW.
Big Show's on my list.
Oh,
just
dear.
so y'all know. I'm just saying. With the hair.
But I can remember being a child, and in the late 80s, he was already declining.
Yeah,
The
it was
pain was
so
getting to
sad.
him. He was slowing down.
Yeah.
But he was still an attraction because we knew, oh, wait, Andre's here. It must be WrestleMania because he
mean,
wasn't on there.
Just with his hand alone.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
that was another thing. It was like they showed footage with him and Mean Gene Okerlund, and it was kind of cool because like it was not just Mean Gene Okerlund. It was also him on Tuesday Night Titans, him on the David Letterman show, him just everywhere, and people being amazed by his size. He took off his ring and gave it to Mean Gene, and Mean Gene was like, "Yo, I could get 3 fingers into this ring."
Wow.
That's how big his ring size. His
Wow.
ring size was like, I think ring size 22 or 23, something like that.
It's not even a size.
No, it's. I mean, but it was funny because like at that time, because of the lack of knowledge of or whatever, people would come up with stories and people would believe it. You know, people would say, he has 2 rows of teeth, and people would be like, really?
Wow.
He has 4 hearts or 2 hearts.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, really?
The
And
2 hearts, I would believe.
No, the
was
2
in
hearts. The 2 hearts.
space.
It was 2 hearts. Yeah, but it was just, they constantly. But the sad part about it was that all that traveling that a wrestler goes through, and we know about the wrestlers that go through it now. Think about back then when travel was probably even tougher and
Oh,
not as
absolutely.
advanced.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you're talking about a dude that was going through having to travel. Let's say if he was going to Japan, 18, 19-hour flight. He can't use the bathroom.
They would remove.
He doesn't fit in the bathroom.
They would remove the armrest because he obviously couldn't fit in one. They would remove it, and he would have to sit in the two.
Yeah.
Bathrooms were a problem for him.
So what they would do is they would take a bucket,
Yeah.
close the curtain, have him relieve himself, and then empty it into the lavatory.
Oh my goodness,
Like
that's
it was
horrible.
You know, if he had to go somewhere, you know, a lot of times he couldn't find beds that he really fit in properly. You know, cars. Some of those countries. You know, cars were like tiny. Like they showed him being stuffed into a car where the guy had to literally push the door to close. You know, they had. I mean, the amount of footage they had of Andre the Giant and, you know, just regular footage that, you know, not wrestling footage was really amazing. And then, you know, when
His life was amazing.
Yeah, but
all the things he had to do.
One of the funniest things that they talked about was the fact that his farts were dangerous.
Oh,
and I mean,
imagine.
literally, because
I'm here for a fart joke.
yo, this dude would.
I heard a story about that where he couldn't use the toilet on the plane, so he would always do an enema before he had a trip.
Yeah.
Because he knew he couldn't do it on the plane. Mm-hmm. So he would always have to do that before. Sometimes toilets were too small for him. He would have to use the bathtub. He would actually have to relieve himself
at the
in
hotels,
bathtubs. Clothes were obviously, you know, he never wore a coat. That was one of the things because he just was never cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because he was drinking like a maniac.
Oh, yo, the drinking
Out of
stories
control.
were crazy.
One time he got so drunk he passed out on a hotel room floor, and the police tried to arrest him, and they couldn't move him, so they left him there.
You can't move him.
They left
you need
him
a forklift.
The funny thing is that they talked about that story in the documentary, and it was with Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
He just was like, yo, I'm going upstairs, call AAA. And then
Call AAA.
Yo, but Hogan came down and was like, yo, I saw him when I got up there in the morning. He was still on the floor sleeping. Because it was like, what the hell are you going to do with a freaking 500-pound man that's 7'4"? What the hell are you going to move him?
No one could move him, and people just walked around him.
Yeah. Just
and
leave
I
him.
heard when he came out of that stupor, he literally just stood up and walked off. It was just like...
Yeah, because
Just
the first time I heard about that was on the Ric Flair documentary where Ric Flair was trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't.
106 beers in one sitting.
That's insane.
He
you
would
give me a good 4, and I'm like, huh, good night.
The same way somebody would get a 6-pack, he would get a 24-pack. He would start off at times with a case of wine. You know what that shit is, to get a case of wine?
Oh, that's my dream.
But
Just
he
get a
was in
case of wine and
so
still be
much pain.
living.
Yeah, he was in
so much pain. He was trying to mask
numbing.
that pain. But I have a really funny story. I was a kid, and my aunt got us tickets to Madison Square Garden one time. So I didn't see the big body slam. I didn't see Hogan slam him. But I did get to see the Ultimate Warrior slam him in Madison Square Garden.
That's amazing.
So to me, as a kid, I'm fairly young, so I'm going to say I was about 8, perhaps.
Yeah.
That was huge to see that in Madison Square
That's
Garden.
amazing.
The funny thing is, they didn't cover it in the documentary, but, yo, he fucked up Ultimate Warrior. Because, like, Ultimate Warrior was going too fast, and
Of course.
at one point, he just put his arm out and just hit him dead in the face and just slow his ass down because he was like...
the Ultimate Warrior wasn't the best technical wrestler.
Yeah,
no.
He also thought he was a little too high of himself at the time, and I think
You need to be humbled.
he even admitted that at one point. But yeah, there was so many good things about this documentary.
Do you remember the last time seeing him on TV? I remember it. When he had the crutches.
Last time I remember seeing him on TV was actually, I don't remember him on the crutches. Well, actually, you know what? I remember seeing footage of him on the crutches, but it was after it had actually happened. The last time I remember seeing him myself on TV was on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Main event.
'Cause the thing
Shout
is-
out to Main Event.
Because the thing is, like, there was a point where I kind of got out of wrestling, like, watching on a regular basis.
Like most of us do. You
Yeah,
go in
exactly.
Now you fluctuate.
So, like, I think it was, like, around after WrestleMania 3, because I don't remember watching 4. After WrestleMania 3, there was a bunch of Saturday Night Main Event, And then that was around the last time I really watched. But then, they also talked about him in The Princess Bride. Princess Bride is one of my absolute all-time favorite movies. I will to this day say, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Perpetuo die. I say that shit all the time to friends that I'm like,
Okay.
yo, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Perpetuo die.
That and Nita Face. Those are your favorite things to say.
Nita Face is my new favorite. But my name is Inigo Montoya. That movie was, but it was crazy because thing is, he was in so much pain during that movie that they would not put weight on him. Robin Wright, who was the female lead in the movie, when there's a part towards the end of the movie where she falls into his arms, they had her on cables so that he wouldn't feel any weight.
Yeah.
And just the conversations, it was crazy. It's an amazing documentary to get the insight. The one thing I was really surprised by, but then thinking about it, it makes sense. There was a lot of Hogan in that shit. A lot of Hogan because
it wasn't on the network.
Well, it was still produced by WWE, but I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. I didn't. Because remember, when he lost to Hogan, that was the first time that he lost ever in a ring.
It was the passing of a torch.
So the thing is that, and it was in front of 90.
And it made Hogan's career. Although he was not the first person to slam Andre. Shout out to Big John Studd, but he was the one who made it.
What goes on in your brain?
Well,
I've got wrestling facts galore.
But wait, wasn't it also two more things on this? They didn't really talk about his relationship with Harley Race, because I think Harley Race may have slammed him, or did he?
Harley Race? I don't believe so.
So he may not. Okay, so Harley.
We'll have to ask Roger. Roger, are you listening? Text me.
Harley Race. I don't think Harley Race slammed him, but Harley Race was somebody that Andre the Giant respected, and I remember hearing somewhere that he was like he kind of borderline feared him, because Harley Race was a fucking crazy motherfucker, or
still is.
Is. But the other thing is about Big John Studd. Real quick, spoiler alert: Big John Studd was somebody who he would go into the ring, 6'10" man, if you don't know who he is, and he would go over the ropes the same way Undertaker goes over the ropes. The first person and the only person to do it back then was Andre the Giant because he was so big. Thing is that was Andre's thing. Andre didn't like being shown up, and the thing was that John Studd would go into the ring and go over the top rope, and Andre the Giant saw that shit as a disrespect, and every time they would get in the ring, he would fuck him up. And one time, John Studd ran out of the ring, grabbed his gear, running out of the arena, and McMahon said, where you going? He's like, yo, Andre's coming. He's going to fucking kill me. And it was crazy like that.
The good old days.
Yeah, man.
The good old days. Now, how does a 6'10" man run from someone? So you can imagine what Andre was for a man that size to run from him.
Yeah.
Because I've heard stories you did not want Andre to not like you. He was very jovial, but you did not want him. Yeah.
I got a question for both of you guys.
Okay.
If Andre the Giant existed more in our time, who would you have liked to have seen him take on? Who would have been your dream match?
There's only one person who could have done it. The Big Show.
The Big Show.
That's the only person who you can...
If we're going to be funny with it, James Ellsworth.
Oh, Jesus.
Or Nicholas.
Oh, God.
Shit.
Shout out to Nicholas. Don't be late for class. You've got a tag team championship to defend.
But in a
Hashtag
couple of
says
years,
Greg.
they're going to get these hands. But, yeah, no, I would have loved to see him with the Big Show.
Yeah.
Now, Undertaker?
No.
No, because if you're going to put Undertaker into it, it could have been Kane, too. And he's selling real estate.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
If you can remember Brock versus Braun.
Maybe
No,
Braun.
excuse me, not Brock. Big Show versus Braun or Big Show versus Mark Henry. They've done the giant thing before,
yeah.
but they've never had something on a scale of Andre versus Big Show. That's like a WrestleMania
because
match in
they
itself.
compare the Big Show to him
Always.
so
Yeah, yeah.
much. You
That
know?
would have been a WrestleMania match.
I could
That-
see Braun as well, but it's going to be the Big
Could
Show.
you imagine those two fighting and then the ring breaking? Then it would have made sense. Had one done a
Yeah.
suplex and then
Yeah.
the ring collapses.
yeah.
There
Without
you go.
question.
Now
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That would have killed at WrestleMania.
And then
had they
Alexa
do.
as the referee? No?
What is going on here?
You're like masochistic.
Because she's so tiny. It would be funny because she's little.
She would have died.
She would have died. She would have run away. She's little.
Well, if you haven't seen the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO, definitely check it out. It's really amazing.
Well, this has been fun.
This has been very interesting for our first actual Smackdown
Yes.
recap.
But all good things must come to an end. Sonny, take us home.
And that is a wrap for episode 16.
Sweet 16.
Yeah.
16.
So does that make
candles.
15 the quinceañera?
It is.
We Puerto Rican though, so you know
Shout out
you gotta,
to Mexico.
You gotta do the Sweet 16 real quick.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Change
doubt.
the shoes and stuff.
And play freestyle at the spot. Take me in your arms.
Hey,
And don't you let me go. Oh, shout out to the Bronx. Yes.
that's where I'm going right now.
Maria.
The most beautiful
Son I've ever. Yo, I am a freestyle head. I fucking love freestyle. Don't start with me.
Don't start him.
Don't start. We're not doing this tonight. We're not doing this tonight.
We're not doing this
We're
tonight.
not doing this.
Shout out to Kervin, who's going to be on our next episode.
Shout out to
episode,
Kevin.
episode 17.
We're not doing this, Kevin. We're not doing this today.
Kermit and I are passing ships in the water. Like,
Yo, have you ever even met Kervin in
no,
person?
no, it'll never happen. But he Facebook messages me all the time.
Sonny very strategically, he keeps certain hosts away from each other. He does this on purpose. Like certain people aren't allowed to be in the same room. Like he's
Yeah.
very strategic
He's
that
smart
way.
about that.
It's called surgical.
I feel like we need to hear it one more time.
What?
Maria.
Sonny, take us home?
Yeah.
Sonny, take us home, please. It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
In parts unknown, and I don't know how to get from the Bronx to
Yes.
here. Like,
I have to start my shift at Dairy Queen soon. Hurry up.
Queen. So thank you for joining us for episode 16. Please follow us on YepILikeWrestling.com. For our YouTube version, it's youtube.com/YEPILW or on soundcloud.com/YEPILW. And also find us on anywhere you find podcasts. That's Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radios.
for you androids out there.
We're Pinterest, CNN.com. We're everywhere.
Smoke
Tumblr.
Signals.
We're everywhere.
Tumblr, you'll just find Teddy.
We're on Pornhub. We're everywhere.
No.
We're everywhere. RedTube, we're there too. I posted stuff on RedTube. Go
I don't
see.
think we've ever interrupted him doing this, and I love it.
It's delirious. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. We're tired.
That's what it is.
It's delirium. We
Don't
haven't
forget
slept.
to follow Teddy on Twitter at.
Oh,
Hell
don't.
no.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
you
to
know
follow
what?
me at don't.
No, it's at hell no. Hell no, don't do that shit.
You don't want to do that. You don't
Alright.
want those hands.
Or anything else with it. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.